Hello, my name is Mantu Joshi. I am one of the pastors at the San Ramon Valley United Methodist Church, and I am sharing with you from Psalm 38 today. Psalm 38 is one of those psalms that speaks to our human condition. It's a bit of a downer when we first look at it, but I think if we either remember or perhaps some of us may be in this place, a time when we felt wounded, a time when we felt disconnected from the rest of humanity. And it felt like whatever it was that we experienced, maybe that's woundedness, perhaps that was going through a divorce, uh, maybe that is losing a job. It could be actually finding out that you have a diagnosis, perhaps you have cancer. And when we have those kind of life conditions that it feels like other people just don't understand, uh, where it feels like when you share or begin to share some of those things, people take a step back, that sense of isolation. That's what this psalm is about. It's that feeling of isolation. And it talks about woundedness, and it might be literal, it might be an actual wound, but I think it actually is probably more a wound of the soul, a wound of the heart, of that feeling of disconnect from the rest of the world. Listen to these words, and I'll read you just portions of this from my Bible here. Psalm 38 says, O Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger or discipline me in your wrath, for your arrows have sunk into me, and your hand has come down on me. It says, there's no soundness in my flesh because of your indignation. There's no health in my bones because of my sin. For my iniquities have gone over my head. They weigh like a burden too heavy for me. And then the image, I'll warn you, gets very intense. It says, my wounds grow foul and fester because of my foolishness. I'm utterly bowed down and prostrate. All day long I go around mourning, for my loins are filled with burning, and there is no soundness in my flesh. And then verse 11, my friends and companions stand aloof from my affliction, and my neighbors stand off. And so, my friends, if you are in a place right now where you feel like people are standing aloof, that people are kind of taking a step back, I would encourage you to look at this psalm and realize that you are not alone, that this is something that people have been feeling for millennia. And as you read through the psalm, I think that you'll notice that there is a request as people step back for God to take a step forward. And I do think that that is what our faith does for us when we feel isolated and alone. I remember when I used to work in the burn center and I would go to see people, and sometimes there'd be certain patients that would have wounds that had festered so deeply, and the smell was, I mean, it just felt like walking into hell. And I remember going in and the isolation that these patients would feel, the desperation to just have some kind of human interaction for some. And for some, the despair was so deep that it was just hard for them to heal or even to accept somebody to come into the room. And I think in those spaces, when we are feeling like that, the deep woundedness, having the capacity to wait on God, for it not to be fixed right away, to know that these wounds sometimes will fester, but wounds need to heal sometimes from the inside out. And if we just kind of gloss over them, try to heal too quickly or to pretend that everything is fine, that actually can be harmful to our souls. But sometimes accepting that isolation a bit, accepting that there'll be a time where we just simply have to wait on God, I think is a reality that many of us feel. If you're in that place, I would encourage you again to reach out to your pastor or to a therapist, or and certainly if you have any feelings of self-harm, to call a hotline and get the help that you need. But at the same time, I also encourage you to invite God to take a step forward as people take a step back, and encourage you wherever you are in your life at this time. I would invite you to share your name. If this has been helpful to you, especially, just click a like or let me know how I can be praying for you. I do go back through these and look to see who has commented and offer prayer for them. So please do that so that I can be in prayer for you. And you can also personally message me or reach me through the church at mjoshi@srvumc.org. I hope you are well. Take care.